So your collagraph should be no more than 1/8 of an inch thick, or pretty consistent, even though it's layered. You know, approximately no thicker than your linoleum plate. And also you should make sure that you know the level before you start, just to get an approximate placement of where your roller should be. So for me, it's still around the level of my linoleum print, which is, again, just under 2 inches. So basically, I just under 2 inches on both sides, and that's where I would measure from the bottom to this, you know, however you want to measure it. Should be consistent on both sides. And then, so it's going to be difficult to run through like your other prints. So I feel that it's pretty tight here. But sometimes maybe half a revolution more. But I think this is good. And run it both ways. So I know I didn't catch that end on this side, so to make sure I'm going to run it back. I'm going to loosen it 1 revolution until it catches the plate again, and I'll tighten it 1 revolution. The same pressure as I had from the other direction. So I also made sure that my newsprint, I had 2 newsprints, so just in case there's any bleeding that came through. So here you can see some embossment of the text with the texture. I'm gonna peek at it. Oh. Maybe mine was a little bit too much pressure, but it kind of tore the paper at the bottom. So next time I'll do it with less pressure. But actually with this, I could probably do something called a ghost print, which just means another print with this same inking. I'm gonna try to remove that. I think maybe the PVA wasn't totally dry. So let me put another piece of paper down and try to pull a different print. If it was something that I liked, it would be just a fainter version of this last print that I just made. So this time, I mean, if I like the color combination, I could re-ink some certain areas, like either the same way or add a little bit more color to emphasize a certain area, like maybe like the figures in the front. I'm gonna go back and do it the other direction. Tighten it. Maybe 1. Okay, so here the ghost doesn't really work so well, but you can see if I had more ink in here, I mean, you could see some of the detail and the embossment. So if I knew this is gonna look like this, I possibly would maybe ink up the background a little bit more and maybe just have the figures as a sort of a embossed, have an embossed look to it. So the embossment you could see on the back. Where you could see the objects coming through the paper. So that didn't quite work as well as the first one. So the things that I had used were just found textures on boxes, and I think it was a piece of wallpaper or some kind of linoleum type thing. So that texture is here. But maybe next time I would wipe it a little bit more and possibly apply just a little bit more pink in the background, or just kind of watch also how the ink squishes from the netting, which isn't very good, but that's how you can get different textures. Either the textures from the cardboard boxes, the netting. You could also use foil. And here I had little globs of PVA or some kind of acrylic, or if you have Mod Podge, that kind of thing. And here's that sort of, I don't know, confetti type paper that I glued on and inked up, both intaglio and also top roll on top. So you can see the green that's caught inside the grooves, and then there's like a top layer of pink that I rolled on. So that pink that was here kind of got a little bit absorbed into the paper, but you could kind of see the pink within the browns. And maybe next time I would ink up the pig a little bit more, like inside the eyes, and then do a top roll with the brown